This is the Todd Shapiro Show on Canada Talks, SiriusXM 167.
Okay, let's get to Silas Garrison, the CEO of HealthSpace.com. We haven't had an update in a while, and it's nice to get you back on the phone. How you doing, Silas?
I'm doing good. How are you doing today, Todd?
I'm great, man. Whereabouts are you?
Home base here in Charlotte, North Carolina. So, yeah.
HealthSpace.com, we've obviously learned a ton through you and a ton through the key messaging that we love to talk about. And, you know, I always look at your stock price and go, man, this is, as an investor, to be honest, full disclosure, I go, this just feels like a great price because you guys are moving forward, you're getting government contracts. And what do you say to shareholders who sort of go like, why this thing feels like it should be higher?
Yeah, it's a good question because, you know, most SaaS companies out there, software as a service companies, get a multiple of recurring revenue, somewhere in the 7 to 10x multiple, usually on a valuation basis. Most of the time that's on a private basis. So it's definitely tricky given, you know, where we're at on the CSC in terms of like, you know, certain people either not understanding our business model fully or just, you know, certain investors are just taking their time in terms of just sitting and waiting. But for what we have going for us, we're building tremendous amounts of growth and energy in our core sector, which is the state and local government agencies all across U.S. and Canada. And from where we sit at to really the overall market that we're addressing, I mean, we are just now beginning to scratch the surface in terms of what we can attain with our product suite and the overall market that is available before us. So while price point on the share price per price is sometimes it's painful to watch on a day-to-day basis, long term there is a very bright and aggressive growth future ahead of us.
Nice to hear, Silas Garrison. And one of the big contracts we know that you signed a few months back was with the state of Florida. How's that going in terms of most recent sales and where you're at with HealthSpace.com and maybe even other government contracts that are close?
Yeah, so what I can say to that is that the contract of the state of Florida, you know, we are progressing in its implementation. A contract of that size, you know, 1,200 plus government employees will be utilizing it on a day-to-day basis. It takes time to implement, so we're just in the beginning phases of that. But as far as our core market goes, our sales pipeline has gone up by about 700% in terms of from when I took CEO this past fall to today, and it tremendously just keeps on growing. So we've got some sales announcements that we'll be making in the near future, and our sales pipeline going into Q4 looks pretty strong, especially considering the fact that, you know, as in most businesses, government not being immune, summer's a very slow sales cycle compared to the rest of the year. So going into the fall, we expect some significant growth for us.
Happy to hear that. Cloud-based systems and working with health departments, HealthSpace.com. So much going on with Silas Garrison and the team there. How I always love asking these questions, you know, sort of separate from HealthSpace.com, but like, you know, the latest and greatest tech trends. I know you're always got your ear to the ground on that stuff. Anything that sort of impress you recently on the tech side of stuff? What exists this day that maybe you didn't think would?
You know, actually, I just got a demonstration from a very close friend of mine, and he's putting together actually a prototype of some kind of virtual reality scan the room type of stuff. And it's hard to kind of condense down into a very pithy phrase how this works, but essentially it does a real-time 3D model of any object, any space in the world. So imagine just like contextualizing your house into a full 3D model where you can walk through it and actually feel the depth, as if you're there in person. It is amazing, actually. So it's one part virtual reality, one part these 3D cameras that can actually contextualize real world stuff on a phone screen. It's really impressive stuff.
Fantastic to hear. And how about you guys over at HealthSpace in terms of any sort of new tech or new growth? Any updates on that side of things?
Yeah, we've actually made some significant strides with the myhealthdepartment.com platform. You know, what we have done is taken it from just concept and now into prototypical phase and a little bit beyond, where we're actually going to start implementing in the very near term with real government agencies. And what this will do is it'll allow, you know, the private industry that is regulated by these government agencies to go online and access a wealth of information that otherwise is either tracked through pen and paper or email or just, you know, inefficient means. So we're going to take all of that online in a new cloud platform that is geared towards the private industry that the government agencies regulate. And that is pretty much on a goal line basis. Like we should be standing that up any day now in a couple of our key clients.
And will HealthSpace, healthspace.com, HS ticker symbol, obviously go and do your due diligence. It's something that I would tell people that I think it's a good buy. And again, I can't give financial advice. That's just my personal opinion. And obviously invested in them as a sponsor, but invested in them as personally as well. And Silas Garrison, the CEO, on the phone with us. You guys sort of get out and about and demos and trade shows and things and tech shows. Are you guys going to be anywhere soon where people can maybe meet the team?
Nowhere on the near-term horizon. We were actually just in the city of Nashville. We were for the National Environmental Health Conference. We actually had a really good showing and a lot of really great feedback, positive showing of our product. But in the terms of near term, where we could actually be out and about, maybe meeting folks, nothing's on the horizon. Going into the holiday season, a lot of conferences kind of slow up.
Yeah, what was that Nashville one?
So that was the National Environmental Health Association. It is the association that kind of pretty much every health department or most health departments across the U.S. Belong to. It's kind of like an industry association, and a lot of private sector businesses are also involved in it. And we go there usually to meet our core constituents, existing clients or prospect clients. So we were just there in Nashville putting on a good show, demonstrating our product and getting a lot of new interest from potential clients.
Good to hear, Silas Garrison. And obviously making that people are dining at great locations and stuff. Does HealthSpace ever get involved in things like where you look, for instance, I was reading a story recently where there was a health department offering basically free hepatitis A vaccines following outbreaks and stuff. Is like, do you guys monitor diseases and stuff like that as well from public health?
So we have been involved in that, but not every one of our clients does that arm of it. So environmental health and public health are kind of tied at the hip. But typically environmental health, which is the ones we service, those who, inspect restaurants and hotels and those type of things, they are separate often from those who administer the public health things, the immunizations and those type of things. And so our clients most primarily are the ones who are doing the restaurant inspections, the preventative measures, whereas we don't touch a lot of the public health as of today, so we are expanding into that area, a new market we can address.
Yeah, things like, again, I was just sort of trying to, find some stories that might relate to things you do. And I know that in New Brunswick, which is obviously in eastern Canada, their health department was warning people against the risks of blue-green algae in the St. John River. Is that you might get involved in as well?
Yeah, actually, especially through the advent of our new platform, myhealthdepartment.com, we're going to use that also as a kind of a alert dissemination platform. So, it's one thing to, as the health department, to be like warning people, but it's how do you warn people? What is the efficient mechanism? And so they will be utilizing our platform to send out blast email alerts, blast text alerts to business operators, and be able to stand up like a temporary web page if it's a warning about some environmental issue that's going on in current day. They're going to be able to use this platform to kind of get the word out about things to be cautious of or aware of.
Yeah, that's really interesting and good to know. I mean, I feel like that could even be like a HealthSpace app that eventually people could download and have this opportunity to, if they had any concerns anywhere, that HealthSpace might be able to help them, and from sort of all over across the spectrum. What do you think? Can we get something like that done?
Actually, that is a great idea. It's definitely something that I would love to put on the product roadmap and say sometime over the next year, getting an app for my health department so that no matter if you're in, western part of the United States, eastern part of Canada, if we have client coverage there, you can get up-to-date information about what you need to know, from immunizations to environmental health issues, et cetera. So that's a good idea, Todd. I like it.
Excellent. And any other sort of news you feel the need to update us on? A question that maybe I haven't asked you, Silas?
One of the things I've touched on publicly that we've talked about is our payment platform, which is going to be bundled in myhealthdepartment.com. It is, we have made significant strides working with PayPal this summer and getting some testing going. Essentially, we're just really taking our time because there's nothing more conscious you could be than handling government funds. So we're making sure that all our I's are dotted and T's are crossed. But we're making some significant strides and intend on deploying that payment platform out in the real world and start actually realizing revenue in Q4.
Excellent. Well, so good to hear and good to catch up with you. I know that I love every time we talk with the company and sort of what the company is doing, and you being an original coder yourself and really loving the tech side of things, not just a CEO running a company, but sort of a CEO who know. For instance, I'll give you an example, Silas. I was the general contractor in my cottage, but I've never built a thing in my life. So tough to be the GC when the guys in the trades are laughing at me, but you have the respect of the community and all your staffing because you know how to do everything that you're saying, but also running the company on the public side of things, and of course on the sales and making sure that the team's kicking butt. And that's what you're doing over at HealthSpace. We appreciate sort of the HealthSpace and tech update, my friend.
Absolutely, Todd. I appreciate it, as always, getting the opportunity to chat with you.
Okay, dude. Silas Garrison, everyone, CEO of HealthSpace.com. This is the Todd Shapiro Show on Canada Talks, SiriusXM 167.